Fire on your mind. Kosher Clinician.
Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
Fire on your mind. Kosher Clinician.
Teach little boys how they're supposed to treat girls. Be a gentleman, open the door, blah, blah, blah. But we don't teach girls how to take care of a man. We hold men to a standard when it comes to women about how men should treat women, but we never hold women to a standard about how they should treat men. Men get tired. We get tired. God, we get tired. And don't nobody... The folks you think them don't give a damn. And in the face of such hurt, heartbreak, rejection, confusion, men are just out here lost. And waking up every day is a miracle. Some people go to sleep. It'll be all right. But not waking up. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. Don't want us to admit that every day is just...
I'm often... If I was to see my former daughter, will I speak to her? After 16 years? No. No. People, I'm going to tell you something about us black men. We take scrap respect. Yeah. We're conditioned to take scrap respect.
And I'll appreciate as a traditional masculine man. Join me live as we dissect and break down why so many men, especially black men, suffer in silence and why no one cares. We'll have a live open panel discussion at some point if you choose to check in. And we will explore the topics associated with black men, mental health, and also death. Enjoy the show. Hit the like button, share the stream. I'll see you soon.
Fire.
When men fail to lead, the children rebel and the women take over.
A reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
Fire on your mind. Kosher Clinician.
Aside to become the kosher clinician, the story and the war cry behind the kosher clinician was similar to some of the struggles and the pains that I've been through as a man. And some of you men are still going through that right now. There's a philosophical term called an existentialist crisis. Basically what that means is that you begin to ask yourself the question, why am I existing? What is the purpose of my existence? And I think that's the story of a lot of men that have not been more or less raised or under the tutelage of masculine men. One of the greatest indictments, guys, about the manosphere is that people assert and assume that the manosphere pushes misogyny and hate. But the manosphere is not responsible and was created a silo as the front to women or black women. But the manosphere was responsible for pain and suffering that many black men were going through and continue to go through as we speak now. Once again, gentlemen, we are going through an existential crisis. Our country is in trouble. Some of you are in trouble mentally, physically, and emotionally. And you're not ready to move to higher ground until you get the requisite help that's going to help you become the better version of yourself.
Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician. All right.
There it is.
All right.
Now hit it for me.
And it ain't culture. 7 in hell is what they taught you. We'll put them, and you can back up in young dose. Kosher. Clinician.
All right, stop that. All I want you to say is, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Say that first, okay?
All right.
All right, you ready?
Start over?
Yeah, start it.
No. Okay, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, and...
If it ain't 7, it ain't culture.
Okay.
Heaven and hell is what they taught you.
Okay, perfect. Do that again, but give me a little attitude. If it ain't 7, it ain't culture.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And
Your word.
action.
Young heads picking back up in young dolphin. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician. That was cool.
If it ain't 7, it ain't culture. Heaven and hell, that's what they taught you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up in young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
Thank you for tuning in. If you guys can hear me, hit 1. Thank you guys for the 8 that are watching, guys. Share this stream, share this stream, share this stream with Elise. Before we start, guys, hold tight. I went deaf. Hold on. Let me edit the sound, guys. Hold tight. Let me edit this sound. If you guys can hear me, hit 1. If you can hear me, hit 1. All right, can you guys hear me? If y'all can hear me, hit 1. Thank you. Camel Legacy, thank you. You can hit, perfect. All right, so once again, guys, thank you to the 7 that are watching, guys. Share this stream, get the likes up. We're going to get into it. But I want to talk about a topic, guys, that's dear to me. It's extremely important. It's urgent that I talk about this topic. But before I talk about this topic, I want to send a special shout out to the International Quiet Storm for gifting me with 5 memberships. He's been a day one ride or die, and I respect that gentleman highly. He's invested in his mental wellness, and I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I'm beginning to start to try to invest in my mental wellness as well. I'm mad at myself because I need to start working out more. I need to start lifting weights. I need to start getting my protein up, and also I need to start getting my sleep. But I'm going to tell you guys something. It's time for you guys to start reclaiming your valor again as men. I want you men to start practicing something called healthy selfishness. I want you to practice healthy selfishness. One of the biggest struggles of black men, or men in general, white and black, is that masculine men by nature are providers. But see, here's the problem with masculine men being providers. Sometimes we struggle with telling people no, and sometimes we struggle with putting others' needs before our own needs. And we struggle with being selfish in a healthy way. One of the things that I was told as a therapist is that therapists have to do a lot of self-care because our jobs can be stressful. And like I said, I'm not where I want to be at physically. I want to lose about 20 to 30 pounds. I want to get this weight off. because being a clinician, guys, is highly stressful. Pouring into people can be highly stressful. But more than pouring into people, trying to be a father and being a husband sometimes can be very stressful. You know, everybody wants to be a man until it's time to be a man. I remember a song back in the day. They said everybody want to sing our blues, but nobody want to live our blues. They were talking about the struggle of black people in America. But we can take it to a higher level when it comes down to the struggles of men in general. Men often suffer in silence with work-related stress, unresolved trauma, divorce, no fault divorce, marrying women that you thought were of high virtue and high quality, only to find out that they were liars, paternity fraud, and a list of things that can be very deleterious, not only to the psyche of a man, but also can be highly deleterious to his self-esteem and his self-will. The reason why I'm such an advocate for male empowerment is because there are a lot of saboteurs that will come in and try to steal the valor of traditional men. Let me tell you men something. I'm gonna say it once, I'm gonna say it again. I got a young man that my man International Quiet Storm, him and I chop it up all the time. That young brother is doing the work, and I'm sure he's gonna keep doing the work. And I'll tell him, and I'll tell any man, if you've done the work, don't you lower your standards for dating and relationships. Now you got to do the work. You got to look within yourself and find out what's going on. But never lower your standards, guys, as a man. We live in a world, guys, in this current milieu or this current generation where heteronormative masculinity have not only been under attack, it continues to be under an attack. Being a true masculine man is very lonely because there are not a lot of warriors to support you in your cause. I would say that Kevin Samuels was one of the final crusaders. He was not the only crusaders, but he was one of the final crusaders. And there have been many other crusaders being clarion callers now. But many times, men that advocate for men, a lot of times there's a false equivocation about the so-called red pill, the so-called manosphere, the so-called whatever. But as a licensed therapist, I said it once and I say it again, is that the manosphere was not created as an affront to women in part, but the manosphere was created in response to the struggles that men were and are dealing with. Nobody have heard their story. Nobody heard their pain. And men that even go to many therapists now, I've had clients tell me respectfully that I'm different than any other therapist they've met because many don't have a black male therapist from a masculine perspective. But I'm going to tell you something, guys, about my story. I've been through a lot. I have been through a lot as a man. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of stress. I've been through a lot of pain. I've been through some traumas resolved and some not 100% resolved. And that's why I use my voice. That's why I'm such a clarion caller for the advocacy of men. Because there are people that exist only to silence men and what men want. Let me tell you guys something. I told you guys before in the past. I'm not against anybody having standards. I think women should raise the bar and keep their standards as high as possible. Have no problems with it. But something happens that's very controlling is that when men begin to raise the standards too. When men begin to say, I'm not paying 100% of bills for women that are not virgins, wife ready, and also don't have kids by other men. They struggle with this conniption when men begin to have standards because the standards of men should always be symmetrical to their selfish needs. And that's a problem. But daddy is tired. Husbands are tired. Daddy works hard. Daddy comes home and nobody cares nothing about daddy. Daddy is going through what's called somatoform stress, psychosomatic issues. Daddy is suffering in silence. The weight of the world is on Daddy. And let me tell you guys something. I'll never forget my father. I tell you guys a story about my dad. My dad is 82 years old. And as you guys know, I lost my mom. I lost my mom this year. And it was the most hurtful thing in the world because a part of me died when my mama died. And I'm extremely grateful that the Most High has given me the time to be with my father, for the time he's here. I'm grateful for that. But I understand at some point that my dad will also meet death. And I'm grateful that God has given me the grace to anticipate that. And at some point, I also will meet death. But I'm going to tell you men something that are listening and watching this, that it's time for men to start raising the bar. It's time to tell daughters and sons no. It's time to start telling your wives no. And be okay with it. Because see, watch this. When you get a stroke, 9 times out of 10, nobody going to care about it. When you have diabetes or all kinds of stress, and hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that men are not responsible for taking care of their health too. But stress can destroy a man when you're dealing with racism, when you're dealing with discrimination. I've been through it all because number one, I ain't gonna bite my tongue. And I'm like Kunta Kinte. I've been beat a lot. I've lost jobs because I'm not gonna bite my tongue. You're not gonna tell me what I'm not gonna do. I'm one of them rebel slaves. You're not going to tell me what I ain't going to do. You're not going to tell me how I'm going to respond. You're not going to tell me what I deserve as a man. I don't care if it means breaking family off. I don't even care anymore at this stage in my life. But while I'm still here, I'm going to do everything in my power to lift the voice of true traditional masculine men that are looking for standards. Because watch this, once again, Daddy is burnt out. And nobody cares. Nobody cares about the weight of the world that's on Daddy's back. Daddy got to always figure it out. Daddy got to always come to the rescue. Daddy got to always put his life and his neck on the line for ungrateful children, for sometimes ungrateful wives, sometimes ungrateful family members. Your good is never good enough. Your best is never good enough. You put your life on the line for your family, and many times your family never gives you nothing back in return. Because nobody don't care about Daddy. Nobody don't care about Daddy's pain. Nobody don't care about Daddy's stress. Nobody cares about Daddy's story. They don't care. They have their own presuppositions about who Daddy is and what Daddy should do. But when you flip the script and tell them what should you do so that Daddy can have a better life and a more peaceful life, you don't hear anything but crickets. And so I want you men to start giving yourselves permission to be selfish on today. Some of you men have created the struggles and the stresses and the demons that you complained about. You created it, parenthetically. You have created it. You haven't set boundaries with the women that you're complaining about. You take bad deals. You take women that have not been conditioned and trained to honor you. You let women come into your life and tell you what the standard is after their beauty has faded, after they've given their bodies to multiple men, after they've had children by multiple men or a man. They want to come into your life now and tell you what the standard is going to be after you've been putting in work for years. And that's why I'm such an advocate for men being passport bros that they can't find a good wife here in America. If you're a good woman, I'm not talking about you, But many fathers are burnt out. They're burning out. They're going to what's called somatoform stressors because the world doesn't care about the struggles of men, especially about black men. Chronic stress hits black men harder. Here's why. Black men often live under multiple layers of stress. As I told you guys, I'm 6'5", 6'6" with shoes on. I was lied on when I was a teacher. I taught school for 5 years. I was a special education teacher. But let me go back even further. Being 6'5", dark skinned with a deep voice, I had the worst of the stressors, meaning They always gave me the worst of the worst kids to deal with. I used to work with adjudicated youth, but also I worked on what's called Essex unit with the mental health inmates. They gave me the worst of the worst to deal with. I broke out with shingles twice because of stress. That's an autoimmune disease. I was lied on. Not because I did nothing wrong, but this so-called big mouth black woman that I was dealing with called herself a sister, though she was a Christian woman. She was intimidated by me because I had a very crisp mouthpiece. She couldn't control me. I won't go back down. And she went to the white man and told the white man that I didn't know how to do my job. Now watch this, guy. Can you imagine a black man with 2 degrees at the time, a degree in law enforcement? I had a bachelor's from North Carolina Central in social work, and I was a licensed special ed teacher working with special needs kids. And my principal tells me to let this woman do my job. But it's problematic. Because while I was dealing with all that stress when my mom was living, I was dealing with the stress of my mom. I was dealing with the stress of trying to go to finish school up. And even though I graduated with honors, I'll never forget my professor, Dr. Isaac Robinson, told me, he said, out of all the men that I know, he said, a lot of men quit, but he said, you won't quit. Hold tight. And he said, you won't quit. And I looked at him like he was crazy because I was like, what you mean quit? Why would I quit? But Dr. Robinson said, you didn't quit. And I'm like, no, I ain't gonna quit. Why would I quit if I come this far? I'm not a quitter, I'm a fighter. But being a fighter, guys, can be very deleterious to your mental health. And so after I got my master's degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, that was stressful. Because you got to always be careful what you say. You got to tap dance. And I'm not going to tap dance. Almost didn't graduate. Not because I did nothing wrong, but because you're not going to tell me who I am. You're not going to put me in a box and define my masculinity. You're not going to do that. And so my professor told me when I was at Carolina, she said that you're very intimidating. Even had some to say I was rough around the edge because I don't play the game. I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going to truncate myself to appease you or your goofy feelings. I'm not doing that. You're not that important to me that I got to minimize my masculinity to make you feel important. I don't care about that. But being treated suspiciously or unfairly or undervalued creates a constant fight or flight that never resets. Your body is constantly going through what's called a stress cycle or a stress response. You are meant to be always on alert. Because see, that stress can raise your blood pressure. It can raise the cortisol in your body. It can lead to somatoform disorders. The word somatoform comes from the word soma, which means body. Many black men carry heavy responsibilities as being providers while facing wage gaps, job discrimination, and fewer safety nets. And then when you come home to talk to your wife, you got a nagging, mean, vitriolic, overweight, bad attitude. I'm telling you that you're going to pay all the bills. But she ain't a virgin. She's not feminine. 9 times out of 10, she's been ran through. But she's going to tell you that you're going to pay all the bills and your goofy behind dragging your knuckles talking about, yes, dear. And I can't be around men like that because, if you're going to be my woman, you're going to come with some instructions. You're going to be my woman. You're not going to tell me what the program is. You will either get with the program or you can be left behind. And so I've been through a lot when you're trying to lead your children to righteousness and they rebelling against you. Dealing with the stress of losing your mom, dealing with the children being rebels, all that stress on top of you, man, and still trying to be excellent at the same time. And we wonder why black men die off so early. We wonder why black men are having somatoform issues. Going back to what I was saying about my story earlier, working even with the system, working as a public safety officer. The white girl was jealous because they saw that prestigious degree on the wall, and they were intimidated. They've always been intimidated by well-spoken, masculine, dominant black men. Because I'm a trifecta. I'm 6'5", 6'6", dark, deep voice, and highly educated. I didn't go to Chicken George State University. I didn't go to no lower tier school. I didn't go to no Cracker Jacks degree school. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And everything I got it straight from the mud. Nobody gave me nothing. It's all but the grace of God. And the people that believed in me, and I want to shout out to those sisters, because there were some sisters that while I was moving on my way up, and they know who they are, they did advocate for me. So I want to send a special shout out to those black women. Let me say that. There were some good women, even though our worldviews are different. They gave me letters of recommendation to get into graduate school. So I want to give a special shout out to those women. But overall, guys, being a black man is hell. Once again, everybody wants the privileges of being a man, but nobody wants the struggles. We're told not to cry. We're told not, if we tell our story, that we're complaining. Every time black men want to vent, people want to tell us how we should vent and how we should tell our story. The burden of being a provider, the burden of being a protector. At any point, a black man got to put his life on the line to give his life for his wife or his kids. But you got women talking about they ain't going to cook. They ain't going to cook because they got to work. I can't cook. I can't cook, guys, because I got to work. I can't cook because I got to work for the white man. But years ago, many black women, they work outside the home. While they worked outside the home, they still came home and cooked their husband a healthy meal. And they worked together as a team to do whatever. But only in America are men always expected to adhere to traditional archetypes and traditional norms. And we're still expected to be held to tradition while everybody else can be modern. And that's a problem because, see, watch this, guys. When a woman really loves you, she don't have a problem with giving outside of herself. I'm going to say it again. When a woman really loves you, she don't have a problem with giving outside of herself. Because the greatest honor that a man can give a woman is not only his last name, but the greatest honor that a man can give a woman is his life. That's the greatest honor that a man can give a woman. Because at any point, a man is expected to put his life on the line. We are always expected to put our lives on the line for our wives and our children. But once again, only now are women, some women, trying to tell men, and I got a good show coming up, what masculine expectations are. And that's why I tell men, you can't be a man in America. You got to travel abroad because it's hard being a man in America. It's hard being a traditional heteronormative masculine man in America. Hold tight. Let me see. Hold tight. It's hard. It's hard being a traditional masculine man. And yeah, 6'6" with shoes on. Shout out to the International Quiet Store. Yeah, man, 6'6" with shoes on, International Quiet Store, homie. Yeah, 6'6" with shoes on, brother. That's what it is, man. 6'6" with shoes on. Yeah, Shabazz, it's been hell, man. Yeah, man. Ain't been to Chicken George State University, man. But sure said that as a black woman, I'm cognizant of the stress that my black man have, and I try to be peaceful. Hey, shout out to you, dear. Shout out to you. I think constantly my brother, my nephew is 25 and found out he just got married. Yeah. And it's stressful. It is stressful being a man. It's extremely stressful. I'm being a man. And that's why I advocate so hard for men. Hold tight.
Teach little boys how they're supposed to treat girls. Be a gentleman, open the door, blah, blah, blah. But we don't teach girls how to take care of a man. We hold men to a standard.
And let me tell you something. Y'all don't have to agree with Myron Gaines. You don't have to agree with Myron Gaines 100%. But what Myron Gaines is saying is true. We don't teach our girls how to value men. We don't teach our daughters how to value their fathers. Let me tell you something that's a sign of something dysfunctional in the black community. Theology never said, honor thy mother and thy father. It never said that. If you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself. But theology did say, honor thy father and honor thy mother. That's what theology said. Theology said, honor thy father and thy mother, because the man was the first fruit of God's creation. One of the reasons why, guys, I don't believe in no partnership, because when God called Adam in the cool of the garden, he didn't call Adam and Eve, but he said, Adam, where are you? I'm going to say it again. When God had to condemn Adam for allowing the woman to persuade him to eat the forbidden fruit, he didn't say, Adam and Eve, where are you? He said, Adam, where are you? Because dominion was given to Adam. It was never given to Eve. And I understand, like I said, there's some good people that I know, some colleagues, they all say partner, part. But partner is a neo term that's used by liberals, and a lot of that is used to sabotage the relationship because the woman is not fully submitted to the leadership of that man. She's not operating in a feminine nature, because a true feminine woman don't tell a man how to run his program. Either you are or you're not. And if you got fears and insecurities from your past, then you don't need to be married. You don't need to be in a relationship. But we don't teach our boys, we don't teach girls how to honor their fathers, and we don't teach girls to honor their future husbands. We don't teach them that. And so racial and societal pressure is stress on a man. Being treated suspiciously, unfairly, undervalued is a constant fight or flight response that never set. Black men carry the responsibility as being a provider, while wage gaps drop discrimination, fuel safety nets. And I'm going to do a show at some point talking about who qualifies to get 100% of the bills paid. Now, let me tell you guys something. Every man's situation is different. If you want to pay 100% of the bills for a woman, that's your business. I'm not going to tell a man how to run his household. That's his business. But I'm not going to pay 100% of the bills for the typical modern woman. I'm just not going to. I can. I make six figures, but I'm not going to pay 100% of the bills while you stack your money and I work like a slave. No, that ain't going to work, sweetie. That ain't going to work. I'll pay. If I was a single man, again, I would pay 100% of the bills for a woman that's they got low bodies to a virgin, wife ready. She understands the assignment. She's working with me, and she has good emotional regulation, and she understands that her mission is to help me build my kingdom. I'm going to strive to take care of that woman, but you're not going to tell me after you got several kids by several men, or kids in general, you're not young anymore, and you're going to tell me I'm going to pay. No, I'm not paying 100% of the bills. I don't need to be with no woman to pay no damn 100% of the bills. I can get menu plans. I can make my own food. If you think I'm gonna pay 100% of the bill just because you cook me a sandwich to make me a sandwich, then you can, I'll figure it out. I don't need you to cook me and make me no sandwich. I don't need you to do nothing for me. In fact, I can do it on my own. But the modern woman is always trying to curve the standard. She's always trying to dictate and tell men what the standard should be instead of becoming the standard. As I said before in the past, what your grandfather got and your great-grandfather is something totally different that men are not getting today. But once again, if a man want to pay 100%, that's that man's right. But I'm not going to pay 100% unless you meet my standards. And so I would say and argue that in this society, in this economy, it's extremely hard for the average black man to pay 100% of the bills, especially if you live in big cities like if you live in California, you live in certain cities in Florida, you live in some of the northern cities like Philly, DC, Maryland, some parts of Virginia, maybe Seattle, Washington, some parts of North Carolina. You can't pay 100% of the bills. I mean, unless you live well beneath your means and y'all cut back. But we keep reducing men to a paycheck instead of seeing the intrinsic worth of the man. And men are suffering under pressure and stress because he's always trying to make his wife happy. He's always trying to make his daughters happy. That's why, let me tell you guys something. I don't believe in no dad's girl. I don't believe in that goofy mess. And I'm gonna tell you why. I got 3 girls. Love my girls to death. But my girls will tell you Even my oldest, sometimes her and I would go back and forth because she would get slick with her mouth, and every now and then she would damn have to get this work too. I don't bow to no children. I'm not gonna bow to a woman, but I sure ain't gonna bow to something that came out of my sack. I'm not bound to that. But the problem is the world has not been conditioned to affirm and to respond to masculine men. I got a good friend by the name of Lulu Bean. Her and I talk from time to time. And I got nothing but respect for that sister. And when you go in foreign countries like in Africa, like South Africa and some of those countries, then you are highly venerated as a man. Actually, in some countries, the women still show high reverence to the point that they bow to their men in honor and respect. They show high reverence to their men. And that's really consistent with God. A man should bow to God. And woman should not bow to man in the point that she's worshiping him, but as it shows homage and respect. But black men, especially, and white men too, but especially black men, don't get a modicum of respect. We're always expected to get the less. We get the less from our kids. We get disrespected by our wives, and we still expect to carry the onerous burden of being the man while suffering in silence. And then once you die and pass away, they'll cry, "Oh, daddy, oh, my daddy, daddy," crying, at the funeral, fake tears sometimes. "Oh, you dead, daddy, oh, daddy, oh, yeah." Don't need to cry now. Don't need to cry now. You didn't value him when he was alive. You didn't honor him when he was alive. You didn't respect your father when he was alive. You didn't obey your father when he was alive. So don't need to start damn crying now. Don't cry now. To the wives, they don't need to cry now. You didn't honor your husband when he was alive. Every time that man would try to lead, you constantly undermine his leadership. Every time that man is trying to lead, you're trying to constantly compete with him and undermine his authority, which leads to some psychosomatic stress. Because we live in a community where men can't be men. We got to always do what society tell us to do because, men are afraid to speak. Oh, I ain't going to say that. I remember a guy told me one time, he called his wife boss lady. I wish I would call a woman boss lady. Because if you think that just giving me some cat and cooking me a meal is enough, look, that's part of it. But in foreign countries, that's normal. I got men that are married to foreign women. In foreign countries, giving a man some cat and cooking for him is just normal. It ain't no flex because you cooking for a man, giving a man some cat. You should cook for your man and give your man some cat. That's what you should do. Just like your man should take care of you and be willing to put his life on the line. A man should always be willing to put his life on the line for a righteous woman. But only in America are men, as black men, expected to take less than, to take other men's kids, other men's responsibilities, and then I'm always talking about doing something for a community. I don't rock with some of these dusty Negroes. They're not part of my tribe. People always assume that black folks were this unified oneness when we came from Africa. We were never one in Africa. My DNA has the tribes of many African countries. I'm mostly Nigerian based on blood. And then from there, Togo and Benin. And then from there, Congo, Cameroon. I got a lot of West African blood in me from different tribes. So we were never one. We became one because of the struggle, but we were never one. And so all the stress that you men are going through, stress damages the body, especially the heart. Chronic stress triggers a hormone called cortisol. My body has been ravaged with cortisol for years. It puts free radicals in your body. And I'm striving to get more conscientious about my health. I promise you I'm going to Planet Fitness and I'm going to start hitting these weights. I'm going to get a membership and I'm going to get serious about getting my body back in shape. My goal is to get down to about 270, 260. And I'm going to start being selfish. Because nothing you do is never good enough. You can give your kids the world, it's never good enough. You can give your child the last, and it's never good enough. You can work like a slave. Like Jaheim said, you can have anything. Work my fingers to the bone, goofy stuff like that. Men are telegraphed through music talking about you can have anything, work my fingers to the bone. No, we're not going to do all that. We're not working our fingers to the bone. Because most of them don't deserve to be having no fingers worked to no bone. But the world can always tell a man what his job is, but then as soon as a man says what a woman's job is, then it's misogyny, you hate black women, and your mama is black. Who hurt you? Using manipulation or using idiosyncratic language like a real man. Watch out for women that are always talking about what a real man would do. Because a real man does what he wants to do. A real man say what he means, and a real man means what he say. A real man don't care about what she think. A real man gonna disrespect her. But my masculinity is not incumbent upon how you feel or what you think about me. I don't care what you think about me. I don't need you. I don't need you. And so the world is not used to traditional heteronormative masculine men that speak truth to power. You know how many people have tried to break my spirit and to break my will? From family members or whoever, but I'm not easily broken. And at the ripe age of 54, with all the grace that God has given me, I'm telling you, men, give yourself permission to start living your life on your own terms. Because stress damages the body, especially the heart, high blood pressure, blood vessel inflammation, heartstring, high blood sugar, weight around the stomach, and it weakens your immune system. And I know my immune system has been weakened due to stress and cortisol levels. This is why black men are more likely to develop heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, and diabetes. See, we think that black men are having all these, erectile dysfunction because he's just like, no, he's stressed out. Let me tell you something. And I want you men to affirm me in the truth. I've had guys tell me that when they traveled abroad, to the single men that traveled abroad before they got their wives, and they told me, guys, that they thought they had erectile dysfunction. But when they went abroad and got some of that good old sunlight, they saw beautiful feminine women that were mangoes. The toxicity of the West had been totally eradicated. They were quoting that scripture by Ezekiel, can these dry bones live? They were quoting the scripture from Ezekiel, and they said, can these dry bones live? They thought that they were dead. But these men told me that when they got around feminine women and got good, clean food and sunshine, and the cortisol levels were lowered, they felt more masculine again. See, black male testosterone is not necessarily low because of food engineering. That's part of it. But black men testosterone is getting lower because of stress and some women that struggle with digitally modified truth, and also not being around pure feminine women. That's why some of these men testosterone levels are low. That's why some of these men can't perform in the bed. Because they're stressed out. You don't stimulate him. You don't arouse him. You won't go to the gym and work out. When he come home, he got to sit in the car for 20 minutes because he's stressed out. The scripture said that a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down. The scripture also said that a quarrelsome and contentious woman will run a man to the rooftop. Men got to run for their peace because they stressed out. And some of you men that are listening to the sound of my voice, you are a walking time clock. You are 2 steps from having a massive heart attack. I had a colleague of mine, and part of his issue was, I'm sure he was just overweight, but, he probably was stressed out. He was a healthcare practitioner just like me and had a massive heart attack. And so I got to get serious about getting back in the gym, lifting weights, getting my sleep, and start down just saying no. If you got wives that are not honoring you and respecting you as a man, you should walk away. If you got kids that don't respect you as a father, cut them off and give them to God in prayer. If they passed away and died tomorrow, you can say, it's okay with my soul because I know I did what was right by them. Because this is the only society where children are disrespectful to their fathers and nothing happened to them. Never take accountability. And then when you sail on them like a war eagle, then they damn turn around and be the victim. When you check your wife for having a slick mouth, then she turns around and be the victim. She's the victim after she's the one that disrespected you. And you got a lot of men right now, guys, that are dying due to stress and somatoform disorders. because they're constantly trying to live their lives to please the women in their lives, but they're not getting anything in return. That's why I always call it taxation, guys, without representation. That's what a lot of men are dealing with. It's something called taxation without representation.
When it comes to women, about how men should treat women, but we never hold women to a standard about how they should treat men. Men get tired. We get tired. God, we get tired. And don't nobody. The folks you think them don't give a damn. And in the face of such hurt, heartbreak, rejection, confusion, I mean, are just out here lost. And waking up every day is a miracle.
Kevin Samuels passed away due to stress. I believe he was taken out. Some say it was stress and Red Bulls. I'm not saying that he probably didn't have some high blood pressure from all the stress of dealing with those masculine women. But I believe that Kevin Samuels was taken out. I stand on that. I believe that it was by design. The powers that be wanted to take him out because he was trying to bring balance back to the black family, the black community. I believe the powers that be sought to take Kevin Samuels out. I stand on that. But men get tired. They get tired of being lectured to. They get tired of being talked down to. And it don't make it any better because we got a generation. In the black community, there's a lot of simps in the black community, guys. You got a lot of simps that lie to women. They won't tell them the truth. They won't tell them that, you're okay, but you don't qualify. Just like women tell men they don't qualify. You got a bunch of simps that lie to them. They try to make it soft. They don't tell them the truth. Because they're more concerned about their feelings. I'm not concerned about your feelings. I'm not concerned about your feelings. A lot of these women were concerned about your feelings when you guys were younger and you didn't have money, you didn't have status. You were a nobody. You were invisible. They didn't care about your feelings. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't care about your feelings. Your feelings don't mean nothing to me. Your feelings mean something to me if you respected me as a man. But you ain't my woman, and you're not serving me to some capacity. I can respect you as a human being, but I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings because the world don't care about men. Men suffer in silence. Men are dying before their time. Men are stressed out. And so this is why black men are more likely to develop heart disease, stroke, hypertension, and diabetes. And stress is a silent killer. Weathering the silent killer. Public health researchers created a term called weathering. Don't you guys know that when you're stressed out, it's slowly wearing your body down? When you got a bad woman, I got a new term that I created. It's called emotional relationship inertia. I call it relationship inertia. It's slowly wearing your body down, dealing with that toxic, rebellious Jezebel woman. The Bible said that life and death is in the power of the tongue. When you're around honorable children, when you're around an honorable wife, when you're around honorable women in general, what it does, it greatly reduces the cortisol in your body. Can you imagine, guys, if you take your last dollar and try to look out for your children, and you work hard for your family, and you give the best that you got, only for your child to tell you more or less that they want better, or that's not enough. And that's what men are dealing with now. That's why, like I said, guys, I don't believe in none of that dad girl stuff. And I stand on that because, see, men that have dad girls, those girls can develop what's called the princess complex. The princess complex thinks that the man that she marries, because her dad was goofy, and her dad told her she was a princess, and without making her and telling her, you're going to earn your way into a man's life. Dad girls, if they're not careful, will sometimes build girls that are not suitable to be wives for traditional masculine men. I believe in what's called a girl, instead of being A dad girl, I believe in what's called a girl dad. A girl dad is a girl that's striving to honor and respect the leadership of her father. She's striving to respect the masculinity of her father. She don't live her life to affirm her feelings, but she live her life to understand where her father is coming from and to respect his leadership and his judgment. So that when he gives the baton over, because the father is the groom, the bridegroom, and when he gives the baton over to the right man, then that woman knows what to expect, and she knows how to regulate her emotions, and she can make that life, that her husband's life, peaceful. But when you get girl dads are entitled. They have narcissistic traits. They think they're special. Sometimes they're not emotionally strong. They're entitled, and they think that daddy's supposed to give them everything. My dad, no, dad ain't doing nothing. If I'm a millionaire, you still gonna earn it. I ain't giving you nothing. You gonna earn it. Everything you get, you gonna earn it. I've told my daughter, and I got some pretty girls. My daughter, NC State. I consider her a top 10 lady. She's cute, very pretty. She ain't ran through. She ain't got no kids. She's at a very good school. My baby girl, I got beautiful girls, man. I'm not trying to brag, but I got beautiful girls, man. And I'm trying to groom my daughters for the right man. So some of you men that are looking for top tier women, I'm trying to groom my daughters for righteous men. If you get with my daughter, then you should. If you can't pay all the bills, then you better be striving to pay all the bills if you get with my daughters. You need to be striving to pay at least 90% to 100% of the bills. Because I'm raising my daughters to be kosher queens. I'm raising my daughters to be virginal. I'm raising my daughters to know how to speak life into a man. And women like that deserve to get at least 100% of the bills paid if the man can afford to do it. But if you can't pay 90% of the bills, you need to make sure you can pay at least as much as you can. For top tier women that are virgins, no kids, and wife ready, they deserve all the bills paid. But we're not paying all bills if you got kids from other men and your beauty is fading. We're not paying all. I'm not paying all of them all bills because I don't have to. Women don't understand that men also are hypergamous too. Men can be hypergamous as well. We want the best of the best of the best women, and sometimes that's a young virginal woman with low bodies or a virgin with no kids, and she's wife ready. If you don't believe me, ask Dennis Sperling. Dennis Sperling is a high-end attorney that's 51 years old, I believe, and his wife is 25. He got him a young, pretty wife. So, we're not paying all no bills. We're not paying all no bills. We're just not going to, unless you meet the criteria of what men expect you to be. You're not going to tell me that I'm going to pay all bills by default if your beauty is fading. You got children by other men. You overweight. We're not paying all no bills. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to pay. Sorry, but not sorry. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to pay. I'm the buyer. You're the seller. What are you selling? The seller don't get to tell the buyer or what the standard is. You got to become the standard. Can you imagine I'm going to go to a high-end dealership and somebody trying to sell me a 1989 Celica and tell me I'm going to pay $100,000 for 89 Celica? I'm not paying $100,000 for an old car. I'm just not, get over it, Because those same women didn't care when you were struggling, when you didn't have money. We had to earn our values, men. We had to become the men that we are. You know how long it took me to be a king, a kosher king? It took years. A lot of setbacks, a lot of stress. And you should never apologize for being masculine men. But the body wears down faster due to constant stress. Black men experience 10 to 15 years of biological aging earlier than other groups because of this. Even when black men eat right, exercise, and avoid risk behavior, stress load can sometimes shorten lifespan. And I got to get more serious about taking care of my health. Even if it means me saying no, even if it means me cutting back on a lot of things, I got to get more serious about doing it. I got to, and I am. I don't care about, if you got rebellious kids, let them damn be rebellious. Even if they die, let them be rebellious. Because see, watch this. In the Old Testament, when children would be disobedient to their fathers, when they were getting in the face of their fathers and challenge their father's authority in the Old Testament, they would be stoned to death. Now, I know we live under grace now. We're not under the law. But when you challenge your fathers back in the past, you can lose your life. But see, only in America do daughters and sometimes sons get in their father's face? Only in America, when you give your best to your kids, they mock it and minimize it and never say it's enough. That only happens in America. So to you masculine men, don't worry about these kids anymore. If you got kids and wives and daughters and sons that don't respect you, cut them off. Give them to God in prayer and move on with your life. Because at the age, if God's allowed you to get in your 50s like me, you ain't got time to be damn argument or hard-headed kid. This is the stage in your life when you should be enjoying yourself. You shouldn't be stressed out because they're entitled and selfish and weak and hard-headed and think they damn know more than you. Can you imagine somebody that's been on this planet for years, has proven their academic rigor, have always been a damn apex provider, and somehow your child gonna tell you more? I'm not saying you can't listen to a child's talking point. I'm not saying that sometimes they may or may not be right, but it's the level of decorum and how you respond to your father. And this generation have not been taught to respect and to respond and also to honor their fathers. Shout out to my dear friend, Sister Bashur. She said, my husband, yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Sorry to hear that, sweetie. My husband had a stroke at 45, 5 years before we met. As a result, he has a hemiplegia on his left side, knowing how stress caused him to restroke. I find it paramount to keep his life as peaceful as possible. And God bless you, sister. I got nothing but respect for you. And I highly venerate you, for sure, for striving to be a woman of valor and striving to be a woman that's going to honor and keep your husband's life peaceful. But I'm telling you, men that are listening, you got to get your stress levels down to build your testosterone. You got to increase your protein. I did a show talking about testosterone years ago. You got to get your sleep. One of the things that I use, guys, is something called magnesium glycinate. I want you guys to start taking some magnesium glycinate and start cutting off women that don't meet your standards. And I don't have a problem with women that have high standards. Don't have a problem with that. A woman got a right to have high standards, whether it's realistic or not. But as a man, you have a right to have high standards as well. You got a right to say, I'm not paying full price for used cat. You got a right to say, I'm not paying full price for women that are overweight and don't take care of themselves and keep themselves looking good. You got a right to say that. Only in America are black men expected to eat out of the trash can and take the less of the less. Shout out to Bashur, as she is the #1 sponsor of the stream, followed by my man, the International Quiet Storm. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Share this stream, share this stream. Shout out to Sister Bashur, as she is the #1 sponsor of the stream. And my heart goes out to your husband, sister. My heart goes out to him. And his story is going to remind me to be more consistent, Bashur, with working out, because I know stress probably with my mom dying this year. The doctor said I was pre-diabetic. I don't know why, but I still got a lot of work to do. And I promise you, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get this weight off. And I'm going to start focusing on me. I don't care about nobody else. I don't care about no kids. I don't care about nothing. I care about me. Whatever happened to them, let it happen. That's between them and God. I'm going to give it to God. You give it to God. And even if they die, so be it. You got to keep moving. You can't worry about no hard-headed, rebellious kids. When the children of Israel were rebellious, God left them in the wilderness. Let them stay in the wilderness. Don't stress yourself out after you raised your kids and done everything in your damn power to give them the best. Let them go in the wilderness. Let them figure it out on their own. So once again, shout out to Bashur, as she is the #1 sponsor of the stream, followed by the International Quiet.
It's the money.
Shout out to my man Shabazz for that $5 super sticker. He said nothing but facts. Shout out to brother Shabazz, man. I appreciate it, brother Shabazz. And guys, it took me a long time to become a kosher king. And I ain't got time for no pigeon ish. You know, I ain't got time for pigeon ish. when you've been working hard your whole life, guys, you ain't got time for no pigeon ish. You're just trying to do king ish. When you get to the age that I am, it's time for you to start living your life. But more importantly, it's time for you to get closer to God, stay close to God, stay on your knees praying, get your body up, get your weight up, get your money up, and keep your stress levels down. And whatever happened to disrespectful children, or whatever happened to disrespectful wives or sons, they got to suffer the recompense of their error. Don't you know? Give yourself permission to be selfish and start working on becoming a kosher.
Yeah, shut up, kosher. Yeah, shut up. Whoa, shut up, kosher. Ballin', take it back. Like it's game time. Game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin' like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for my bag coming. 3 whole years and these records keep running. Don't talk to me if you can't match the numbers. Ballin' like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin' like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for mine.
Yeah, guys, if you've done the work, you work hard your whole life, it's time for you to start flexing. And don't worry about what they say. Don't worry about them trying to shame you, because the church ain't going to stand up for you and advocate for you as a black man, but I will. Nobody's going to advocate for traditional masculinity like I will. So if you want to do what's best for you, do what's best for you. Don't worry about trying to accommodate people that don't never accommodate you. You won't put on this planet to be a human ATM machine. You won't put on this planet to serve blindly. Your life got merit and your life got value too. If your wife don't respect you, start cutting her off. If your sons don't start respecting you, start cutting them off. If your daughters don't respect you, cut them off. Let them do what they want to do. Because at some point, when they stand before the Most High, they're going to suffer the recompense of their error. I don't care what nobody say. The scripture is clear about how men should be honored and respected in the homes. Man was not put on this planet to be a servant blindly to women and children. Man was put on this planet to serve God, and the children and the sons and the daughters were supposed to venerate and honor their fathers, with the understanding, by honoring my father, then daddy's going to take care of us. But everybody want all the privileges of being a man and all the things that come along with being a man, which is wisdom, provision, and protection. Because see, sometimes masculinity ain't about him having no 6 figures or paying all the bills. Sometimes it's honoring the man is about the provision that he brings for the wisdom and knowledge that they have. But they don't want that. They want to dictate to you what your masculinity is. And hearing what Bashua said about her husband, that's why it's so important for you guys to take care of your mental health.
Go to sleep. It'll be all right. We're not waking up. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. They don't want us to admit that every day is just...
I'm often asked, after 16 years, if I was to see my former daughter, will I speak to her? After 16 years, no.
Now I want you guys to listen to this. I want you guys to listen to this because this is extremely important. I want you guys to listen to what this man said. Black man says he's defective beyond on being a father because of the disrespect and the right and having to fight to be a dad. I want y'all to listen to this man and tell me what y'all think about what this brother is saying. Because fathers and husbands are burning out and nobody cares. Nobody cares about fathers. When Father's Day come, daddies get ties. When Mother's Day come, mama gets venerated because we live in a matriarchal culture that tends to esteem the woman over the man. But not in my house. You're not going to esteem mama over me. I'll walk away before I let that happen. Let me tell you something, men. When you know what your value is, you don't argue with women. You don't argue with no woman. Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Because you know what your worth is. That's why passport bros are becoming such a phenomenon. In other countries, if you're a hardworking blue-collar man, you are highly respected. But only in America where our men that are average men that make an average salary got to work themselves like a slave to appease something that's been severely used, don't have emotional regulation, faith in beauty, kids by other men, and a bad attitude. And then every time men say, "This is what I want," you're misogynistic, or you hate your mama. I mean, goofy stuff. You can use all that shaming language all you want. That mess don't bother me. At 54, you think I care about you and your goofy shaming language? I don't care about what nobody say about me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm not gonna tap dance the damn go along to get along. I'm a man. I'm a real G. I'm not gonna tap dance. I could tap dance, but that's not who I am. I don't live by no zodiac. Because the Bible says it's divination, but there's some truth to the zodiac. I'm a Leo. If you know anything about Leo, Leos are ferocious. We got big egos. We don't bow to nobody. We don't look at nobody as being greater than us. We respect all people, but we bow to none. What I look like bowing to you. You're not better than me. I'm a fighter. I don't quit. I don't care if I'm losing one. You got 100 and I got one. I'm coming back at some point. I'm gonna win at some point. You might not think I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna win. And even if I don't win, I didn't fail because I never quit. I want you guys to listen to what this man is saying. Hold tight.
No. People, I'm going to tell you something about us black men. We take scrap respect. Yeah. We're conditioned to take scrap respect.
You can get on any ride you like, Kyle.
Shut up! You're not my dad!
This winter, Disney Pixar doesn't present.
And we're going to get back to the brother in a minute, guys. But this, y'all going to love this one. y'all going to love this one, guys. Y'all going to love this whole time.
Not my dad. Because being someone else's dad isn't always easy.
It's time for episode 5 of Simp Man, the hero doing things
The Adventures of Simp Man. Y'all gonna love this one. Y'all gonna love this one. Hold tight.
other men won't. From paying rent to cooking dinner while she's gone, no simp duty is too small. And if you're seeing this on that Chinese app that steals your info, just know the person who posted it got it from here. Hoebusters made it first.
Simp Man, how can I be a better man?
Pay all of her bills.
Simp Man even uses his simp breath to check crossing guards who question if those kids are really his. From taking other men's kids to school to checking deadbeats over child support, Simp Man does it all.
You're late on your child support.
Simp Man, I am pregnant. But don't worry, it's not yours.
I don't care.
How many of you guys tired of being simp man? How many of you guys tired of being simp man? If y'all tired of being simp man, I need you to hit one. How many of you guys are tired of being simp man? Some of you men are tired of being simp man. Some of you brothers are tired of being simp man. Some of y'all simp so hard, man. Only in America are black men expected to be less than and to take bad deals. Only in America, black men are supposed to take bad deals. Only in America.
I will raise it as my own.
From checking punks about child support to supporting pregnancies that aren't even his. Simp Man will always rise to the challenge. Catch the next chapter. Same simp time, same simp channel. Only on Hoebusters.
And you know what, man? The red pill, the red pill is the kryptonite to being a simp. That's why people hate men that speak on male issues. Because fundamentally, they don't understand what the red pill means. It just means to see the world for what it is. Are there some men that hate women in the red pill space? Sure it is. You're going to always have an outlier. But It just means now I see the world. I see it for what it is. You know, women would be, a lot of women would be okay with you worshiping them and serving them and placating to their selfish needs without getting anything in return. But what men had years ago was virginal women or low bodies. And if a woman did have a child back in the day, she understood that that child lowered her sexual market value. And she treated that man with respect. She treated that man with honor and valor. She did it. Because she understood that she didn't have the same power as a woman that was a virgin with no kids and she was wife ready. So she was more realistic in her pursuits, and she was a lot more humble. But you got chicks that got multiple kids by multiple men, overweight, ran through, bad attitude, fading beauty. And you get mad. Women get mad at older men that are silver foxes that like younger, fit, feminine women. But yet those same women use cosmetics to look young. Make it make sense. You get mad at silver foxes, older men with money and status that want younger women. But yet you wear cosmetics because you don't feel good about your beauty, because you know that there's a cost differential between beauty and youthfulness. That's hypocrisy and delusion. But nobody wants to talk about that.
I'm often asked, after 16 years, if I was to see my former daughter, will I speak to her? After 16 years. No. No. People, I'm going to tell you something about us black men. We take scrap respect. Yeah. We're conditioned to take scrap respect. We're so in tune to understanding that everybody think if we own homes, we're gonna be a slumlord. If we fathers, we're gonna be deadbeats. All of us good men, we fight and take on the full brunt of the stereotypes that you are as a black man. Yeah, the other guys, it don't matter to them. But us good guys, we the ones that fighting in the court. We the one that making videos. Basically, they don't know how to read it right when we criticize them. We're trying to get them to act right. I seen a video the other day where a black woman said, I like when black men get offed. I've never seen a black man make a video that says that. This is how comfortable they have gotten at disrespecting us, and you've accepted it. My mom.
Shout out to my man Free Agent ATL for being a member, a new member. Shout out to that brother. I appreciate it, man. It all comes up strong, guys. I got some powerful shows coming up. I'm going to be on the cruise at some point in Puerto Rico. I'm going to be filming from there as well. I'm going to spend some time with my dad. But I appreciate you guys becoming members. I got a good show coming up, guys. I got a couple of good shows coming up. And I'm going to speak to this. But this show was very important to me because black men are dying, man. They are dying due to stress. And I'm talking about myself. And I worry about my own health. And I got to get better with my health. I got to start regulating my health more. I got to start working out more. I got to start getting more lean protein. I got to start lifting weights. I got some protein. But I got to get more serious about my health. And start giving a lot of this stuff to God and not damn worrying about nobody else. Because stress can give you pre-diabetic symptoms. Stress can have all that cortisol going in your body that you can have what's called autoimmune disease. All of this is due to stress. Because a lot of men are not taking care of themselves, and they keep putting everybody else above their own best interest. And like Bashir was saying, my heart goes out to her husband. My heart goes out to that brother. Because if you are a masculine man that speaks your mind, you're going to be on a lot of stress. Let me tell you something, guys. I ain't afraid to speak my mind. If anybody know me by now, they should understand that I say what I mean what I say. I don't tap dance with nobody. If I got a problem with you, I'm going to tell you to your face. I'm not going to disrespect you. But if I got a problem with you, I'm going to tell you to your face. I ain't going to tap dance and bojang. Oh, you know, no, I'm going to tell you what I mean. You got men sitting up in houses where they're scared to tell their wives what the deal is. You got women that think that's because they cook a man a meal that, look, that, okay, you cooking him a meal, so what? You should cook your man a meal. Just like that man should take care of you, die for you and protect you if he have to. But like I said, all this a man paying all the bills, no, that's for women from yesterday. We talking about old school women. You modern chicks aren't no old school. You modern chicks have had fun, and that's your right to have all the fun you want to. But we ain't gonna be paying all no bills. I'm not paying all no bills. While you stack your money up, and then when you get tired of being married, you talking about I'm not happy, and now I'm stuck looking like an idiot, and I'm messed up. No, that ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna let my woman tell me what the program is. Either you're gonna be part of the program, or you can keep it moving. I'm in the kitchen cooking my husband, man. No doubt, sweetie. You know what? But sure, you know what? I ever come to Philly, me and Miss Kosher, because you can cook. I'm gonna tap in with you, man. See what kind of skills you got, because I've seen your channel, and I've always been impressed with those beautiful meals that you make, sis. You make some kosher meals, very clean kosher food, man. So shout out to your king, shout out to him, and shout out to you. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to what happened to your husband. And what's happened to your husband is going to remind me of the need to be more consistent with my health and making sure my health is apropos and that my health is right, because I don't want to be walking around stressed out with no strokes or no diseases or having heart disease. I'm going to get serious because my mom lost her life due to congestive heart issues. And I'm going to get this weight off. I'm gonna get this weight off, like Raekwon say, "Oh my mama, I'm gonna get this weight off."
I was paying my mom's rent. My mom talked to me like I was an absolute piece of trash because she don't like my company. My daughter, I didn't do nothing to my daughter. My daughter had her own business at 6. She had a key to the office. She knew all my passcodes. She knew everything about me. I said, if anything happened to me, there's an evasive action that you're gonna take. Here's the deeds to the houses. There's everything. Didn't matter. The fact is, her mother wanted to treat me like shit, and then she joined in. I fought to be a father for 11 and a half years. I fought for 11 years, 5 months, and 29 days too much. I shouldn't have fought to be a father for 1 day. I'm retired military, multiple homes. I own 7 cars, 6 of them are BMWs. I have 2 IULs, 1 retirement account that I'm collecting off of the military now. I've never been in I don't have no felonies. I'm 56. I'm in good health. I got the good.
And imagine, guys, after having all the accomplishments of this brother, he still does not get a modicum of respect from his wife, his mother, or his children. Let me tell you guys a dirty secret. I love my mama. Before she passed away, me and my mom would clash a little bit. Bless her heart. And mama, I hope to see you at some point on the other side. I hope to see my mama in heaven at some point. And I know what I got to do to get to the promised land and see my mama again. But I used to tell my mom, I said, Mom, let me tell you something. I know you're my mama, but you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way, Mom. you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. I might be your son, but you're not gonna talk down to me as a man. And let me tell you men something. You ain't ready to be a man until you can check your mama in a respectful way. You're not ready to be a man until you can check your mama. I'm not saying you disrespect her, but you got to be times when you got to put mama in her place when mama is getting out of line. Because if mama get out of line, mama can get this work too. Mama can get this work. Mama ain't going to tell me what to do. I'm a man. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I ain't going to do. Mama, I love you, but you know your place. Because mama, you can get this work. And that's the problem with a lot of men now. They are too mentally indoctrinated by what their mothers think instead of standing on business and being men. But mama can get this work too if she get out of line. And that's what you men got to start doing. You can't be afraid to check your mama respectfully. You can't be afraid to do it.
And still, I had to beg my daughter to respect me as a father. So 16 years ago, after 11 years of fighting her fighting her mother, and only 2 weeks of fighting her. I only fought her for 2 weeks. She fucked me over. I said, we ain't doing this now. She did it 2 weeks later. Never spoke to him since. Stop accepting all the negative nonsense because you don't want to fall under the stereotypes. That's why they quick to call you a deadbeat. They're playing on your morals. After all, the song do go, Papa was a Rolling Stone, and I'll always love Mama, right?
Yeah.
You're conditioned.
He's right. We are conditioned to see men as less than. We're conditioned to. John Heen wrote a song, and John Heen said, "You can have anything I got. Work my fingers to the bone. Nah. That's what John Heen said. We're conditioned as men to worship and to put women on pedestals. So we got to stop doing that as men. We ain't going to put nobody on no pedestal. The only person we're going to put on the pedestal is God. We're going to put God on the pedestal, and we're going to put our purpose on a pedestal. And if the woman want to be part of the program or come into my kingdom, then she's more than welcome to come. But she's not going to run the kingdom. It's my kingdom. It's my kingdom. It's not her queendom, but it's my kingdom. And if she want to come into the kingdom, then she got to follow the leadership of the king. As she follows, she's going to be well taken care of. But she ain't going to tell me how to run my kingdom. If I'm paying the majority of the bills, you're not keeping your money and stacking your money while I'm working like a slave. That's not going to happen, sweetie. That's not going to happen. I'm not living my life to serve you. I'm not living my life to serve you and to make your life comfortable. I wasn't made for you. You were made for me. That's what the scripture said. The scripture didn't say that the man was made for the woman. The scripture said that the woman was made for the man. So if the woman was made for the man, it's to come upon the woman to serve and to honor and to venerate the man. She was made for man. I wasn't made for her. And I understand these kind of sayings sound very strange because we got a bunch of weak churches now. We got a bunch of weak. They just don't talk the objective word of truth. They don't know how to properly exegesis the word of God. You got a bunch of men, even some godly men that are sense. Won't say nothing, won't speak up, won't tell the wife no, won't tell the kids no. Won't tell the wife, you're doing too much. You need to go sit down because you're doing too much. You're not running up with your mouth. Won't tell her when she start crying, oh, I don't know if I care about those tears, woman. Dry them tears up. I'll be waiting right here until you dry them tears up, but you're not going to manipulate me with your tears. I don't care about no tears. But our standards are so low as black men, we think because a woman gave us some cat that she gave to other men for free, and she cooked us a meal, then we're going to jump through the hoops to pay all bills when what men got years ago were virgins, wife ready, and no kids. And they still cooked meals, and they still worked outside the home. You think black women in the 40s and 50s in the South didn't work outside the home? And they didn't work for the white man. They were working in the fields. My grandmama worked in the field. My grandmama worked in the field, had my mama and my Uncle James, my Uncle Bernard, and she still cooked for her family. I'm going to say it again. My grandmama worked in the fields of North Carolina. She had my brother, my uncle, and my mama that were twins, and my grandmama still did her duty as a wife. But you got modern women now that are not virgins, not wife ready, got kids by other men or kids by multiple men, and they think that cooking for a man entitles them to have all their bills paid. Because they tired, because they got to work. No, sweetie, what's your point? I mean, if you didn't have a man, you're going to cook for yourself. Unless if you're a health conscious woman, you still going to cook for yourself. If you got the kids by the man that you with, you still got to cook for those children. But somehow you expect a man to still talk about paying all the bills because you just gave him some cat and you cook him some food. I wish if you're a masculine man and know your worth and a woman trying to shame you and trying to control you with some cat, you just start playing your exit strategy until you get rid of her. Start playing your exit strategy until you get rid of her. You're not doing no man no favor because you gave him some cat. You're not doing him no favor because you gave him some cat that you gave to other men for free. I gave him some cat. Okay, what's your point? You gave him some cat. I cook him a meal. Okay, who cares if you cook him a meal? Fine. He also cut that grass. He also washed the car. He also changed the oil. He also changed the tires. He also fixed things in the house. You cooking your man a meal is not the same as him always got to be on duty to put his life on the line for you and your children, our kids. It's no comparison. And so what men are saying now, because they're tired, a lot of men are just quitting. Men are saying, you know what, man, screw that. I ain't gonna get married. Get married for what? What am I gonna get married for? What am I gonna get married for? When I come into the marriage, I'm not getting a virgin. We know that they're gonna lie about how many men they've been with. When I tell you I don't want a woman that's been ran through, you're gonna try to shame me for my standards. You don't want to work out. You don't want to keep yourself looking pretty. You want to tell me how to run my program instead of being my confidant and engaging with me and being my assistant and giving me advice. But you want to tell me how to run the program. And that's what a lot of women do. Women get married for business, men get married for love. So once again, every man got to determine his own path when it comes down to the women that he's dealing with. If that's what you want to do, then so be it. Pay all the bills. I'm not doing it. And I make okay money. I made more money last year than I ever made in my life. And I'm planning to make even more next year. And at some point, I'm going to get an author. I'm going to write a book called Black Love Without Consent. That's been my dream. It's going to be my mandate. I'm going to get an author. I'm going to get a publisher. And I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to start there telling black men what they need to start looking for. Black men and white men, what they need to start looking for in relationships. No longer are we going to be manipulated by what she wants. And we got to always curtail to her needs and expectations. That ain't going to happen. Because see, solutions sometimes means just by... Sometimes solutions just mean sitting out. Sometimes solutions just mean, you know what, I'm gonna sit out. I'm good. I'm good, man. Because black men, we gotta start raising black men and white men, but especially black men gotta start raising the bar. Our standards are too low. We gotta start having the standards that our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers and our great-grandfathers had. Because our grandfathers would never take the trash that we gotta deal with now as men. They would never take that. I know what the standard looked like because my grandmama was the standard. My grandmother was a virgin. Grandmama ran through. Grandmama didn't suffer from hoflation. Grandmama didn't have children by other men. And grandmama didn't. Grandmama was a righteous woman. She wasn't perfect. And sometimes granddaddy used to do mess he had no business doing, like some of the men back then. All men didn't do that. Some men did, some men didn't. Because there were women back then that were sleeping with married men too and having babies by married men. We always want to see men through the lens of the color purple and making a false equivocation, a false assumption that all men at that time were having children out of wedlock. Were some men doing it? Yes, some of the men were doing it. But some of those women also were getting with married men and having kids outside of wedlock too. When the men were going overseas to fight and putting their lives on the line, some of those women were watching those men too. Fathers and husbands are burning out and nobody cares. Free agent ATL said, my mother worked, cooked, and cleaned and paid bills. My mom was a North Carolina woman, no doubt, brother. My mom, she worked, yes, sir. She worked, she cooked, she cleaned, and she helped pay bills. But see, you know what, free agent ATL? Women of that generation, I remember my grandmama, I can remember like it was yesterday. My mom had a washing machine, and that washing machine was some old school washing machines where you had to scrub it with some lye soap, and then you take it and let it run through the water. Women of yesterday had less appliances, and they were still better women than these women now. They had less and they were still better. They didn't have washing machines. They didn't have dryers. They didn't have all the other things. They had less, but they were still better women. They had emotional regulation. They weren't selfish. They didn't see their emotions as the end all be all.
Unfortunately, to accept this bull.
Marriage is not for the woman who loves drama more than peace. Let's be honest, a peaceful home is a man's greatest wealth, and the fastest way to lose it is to marry a woman who thrives on chaos. She doesn't just live in drama, she feeds on it. She doesn't just hate boredom, she fears it. If there's no problem, she'll create one. If there's no enemy, she'll become one. Let's break it down. 1, she can't sleep. Unless there's a fight, a normal day feels wrong to her without conflict. If you come home happy, she'll find a reason to argue. If you solve one...
And you got to run away from women like this. Women like this are highly chaotic. Some of them have unresolved mental health issues. Some of them have insecure attachment styles. Some of them have unresolved trauma. Some of them are borderline personality disorder. Some of them are cluster Bs. They have unresolved mental illness. And she ain't happy unless she got chaos, because chaos makes her feel safe. And if you're a masculine man that's working hard, you ain't got time for all that nonsense. You're not responsible for her trauma, and she's not responsible for your trauma. I'm going to say it again. She's not responsible for your trauma, and you're not responsible for her trauma. These kind of women are dangerous. They're highly chaotic. They don't have emotional regulation. They're not centered. And they will bring that toxicity and stress to your life.
problem, she'll invent another. Her nervous system is addicted to tension. Peace feels like punishment to her because she can't perform without an audience. To her, silence isn't safety, it's withdrawal. So she starts a storm just to feel alive. 2, she turns small disagreements into public spectacles. Instead of resolution, she wants recognition. Instead of privacy, she wants pity. So she airs your business on Facebook, in group chats, at family dinners. Now you're not just a husband, you're a headline. And once the crowd takes sides, there's no peace left to protect. 3, she sees your calm as weakness. You try to de-escalate. She calls it backing down. You walk away to cool off. She calls you a coward. She doesn't respect restraint. She only respects reaction. She'd rather win an argument than...
How many men have dealt with women like this? I want you to hit 1. How many men have dealt with women like this? Please hit 1, because these kind of women you need to run from. They are not consistent with your mental wellness or your physical health. How many men have dealt with women like this? I want you to hit 1. Hit 1 if you dealt with women like this, because right now some of you guys are a ticking time bomb from a heart attack. Your stress levels and your blood pressure, your cortisol levels are too high. How many men have dealt with women like this? Hit 1.
preserve the marriage. To her, peace feels like defeat. 4, she weaponizes your love against you. She knows you want peace, so she makes you pay for it. She'll spark conflict until you give her what she wants, a big purchase, an apology you don't owe, a boundary you swore you wouldn't break, and just like that, you're paying ransom for peace in your own home. 5, she's bored by stability, but excited by destruction. A calm marriage is too predictable.
Now think about this, guys. You look at, what's his name? You look at Steph Curry. You know, that's why, guys, I don't believe in that nonsense there. Oh, I keep wrestling about femininity. Unless he pay all the bills, that's BS. Yes, you can. Your femininity should never be conditional. Either you're a feminine woman or you're not a feminine woman. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody paying no bills. But you look at somebody like Ayesha Curry, they got a good man, and it's part Steph Curry's fault because he allows the disrespect. A multimillionaire, paying all the bills, and this woman is competing with him, and she's never satisfied. Ayesha Curry is an attractive woman, but Ayesha Curry is a nobody in other countries. Ayesha Curry is a nobody in other Latin countries where the women look like just like her. She's a nobody. And men in America tolerate so much. You got women like Ebony K. Williams, and I'm going to do a show on her. that's over 40 and still talking about what she deserves and who's not good enough for her because she's still trying to sell men social market value over sexual market value. Ebony K. Williams probably been with at least 20 men or more. She got a test tube, baby. But somehow other men are not good enough for Ebony K. Williams because somewhere down the line, Ebony K. Williams is still not properly healed from the traumas that she had in her past. And somehow we expect women like Ebony K. Williams to dictate to men what the market is.
She craves chaos the way an addict craves a fix. And if you don't give her that high, she'll find someone or something that will, because peace doesn't excite her. It exposes her emptiness. Final word: marriage is not for the woman who loves drama more than peace. Not for the one who creates storms just to feel alive, shames you for walking away from chaos, treats calm seasons as weakness. Because a woman who can't live without conflict will never let you live in peace. She won't just disturb your home, she'll make war your normal. And when peace finally leaves your life, so will your joy. Choose calm, choose clarity. Choose the woman who builds peace, not the one who builds peace, not the one who burns it for sport.
Men used to go to war for the women that they loved. Men used to build houses from the ground up with their bare hands for the woman that they loved.
And guess what? Women back then were better women. Oh, I got a show coming up called Who Created Bam Bam and a Generation of Weak Black Men. I got a show coming up. But I'm going to get back to this stress, guys. Let's get back to how stress destroys a man's body. So emotional stress can lead to physical death because many black men are taught not to talk about emotions. That's why I say some of you guys need to do non-diagnostic consultations. Stress turns inward, becoming depression, anxiety, irritability, sleeplessness, alcohol use, anger, numbness, or shutting down. Let me tell you men something. Always in society, we always talk about Papa was a Rolling Stone. Papa left mama. Papa left grandmama and didn't take care of kids. Papa was an alcoholic. And Papa also was sleeping with women. But we never took the time to understand that a lot of black men at those times, sometimes, I'm not saying it was always the case, but a lot of times those behaviors were maladaptive coping mechanisms, and those men were under a lot of stress with Jim Crow racism. So they would use sex, alcohol, or abandonment as a way to cope. They didn't know how to cope. Some men stood still, some men didn't stand still. Untreated emotional stress dramatically increases heart attacks, suicide risk, stroke events, and also immune system collapse. Stress that is not related becomes disease. This is something that folks don't want to talk about either. It's called transgenerational trauma. A lot of men are dealing with the unresolved trauma from what their fathers and what their mothers went through. They're struggling and dealing with the stress that was transmitted to the sons because of the mother's hatred for the father. Research shows that trauma can impact DNA expression. It's called epigenetics. Black men often inherit generational trauma, survival-based behaviors, stress response passed down from fathers and grandfathers. This means black men may be born already on guard. We got stress in our gene pool. And that's why I strongly advocate for black men that have done the work. That's why I keep telling you, man, you need to get a non-diagnostic clinical consultation, like my man in Quiet Storm had. I'll get you guys right. Because I got to get more serious about my health. I promise you, I'm going to get more serious. My goal is to lose about 30 or 40 pounds. I'm going to start going to more spas. I'm going to start cutting family off. And when I say cut off, don't mean I hate them, but I'm going to let them do what they want to do. I'm going to give them to God and give them to God in prayer. And they come around, fine. They don't come around. I don't care anymore. Do what you want to do. If you choose to be rebellious, if you choose to be disrespectful, you will have to answer to God for that one day. I don't care what you do anymore. I'm not going to no longer put my body and my mind and my spirit in a trauma response. You know, as fathers, sometimes we get so stressed out, sometimes due to our kids and their inability to communicate or being disrespectful, that we put our bodies under a lot of stress. But I'm not doing that anymore. And neither should you. Lack of emotional spaces. A lot of folks talk about, oh, the red pill. These men always talk about women. They hate black women. Not understanding that the red pill space really is a form of group therapy, consistent with Dr. Irving Yalom. Dr. Irving Yalom talked about group therapy. Storming, norming, performing. Storming, norming, conforming, performing, and adjoining. Those are the 5 stages to group therapy. Storming, norming, conforming, performing, and then adjoining. And Dr. Irving Yalom talked about the 11 to 12 steps, 11 to 12 steps of group therapy. A lot of black men came to these spaces because they were looking for answers. Dr. Irving Yalom talked about something called catharsis. Catharsis simply means that they were crying on the inside. Dr. Irving Yalom was talking about something called corrective recapitulation. It means I got to go back in the past and capture the trauma to help me render this and then move forward into my new existence. Men came to these spaces because they were comparing notes. I know I'm not crazy because they were being gaslit by the women in their lives. Men were looking for something called universality of brotherhood. But many black men don't have people to confide in, men's circles, safe partners, mentorship, and culturally sensitive therapists. And this is something so true. That's why what you guys don't realize, what you have in me, is so rare. And that's why sometimes I get angry because, I get support, but I don't get the support that I deserve. Because you're not going to have people giving you guys what I'm trying to give you guys. You're just not going to. I know as a therapist, a lot of times what I'm saying might be controversial. It's not. The truth is not controversial. Well, actually, the truth is controversial to those who don't want to hear the truth. But a lot of therapists are not culturally sensitive. You know how rare it is to find a traditional masculine black therapist? That's rare. They didn't go to Chicken George State University. They got when I went to graduate school at UNC, they told me, they said, your background, your credentials were very impressive. They said, we've never seen anybody with your credentials and your background. I was a walking anomaly. So the pressure builds quietly until something breaks. Health, heart, health, or spirit. Many men begin to do negative behaviors because it was a trauma response. But see, we just assume that men by default are bad people. We just assume that granddad that was drinking alcohol was just being an alcoholic. We assume because granddad abandoned grandmama, he was bad. But we don't give him grace or understanding what he was going through really, but it's a trauma response to being called a boy under Jim Crow racism, to being denied economic opportunities, to coming home to competing with his woman, to when they gave his wife a job but wouldn't give him the job because they saw him as a threat. And that's why I take great umbrage with women that always want to see black men through the lens of trauma and also the color purple, because many black men of that generation sacrifice their own happiness for the sake of their families. Early death in black men. Studies have shown that black men have one of the lowest life expectancies in America, largely due to untreated stress, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, high cardiovascular strain. That means stress on your heart. And I understand that black men don't sometimes take care of their health, but sometimes black men don't take care of their health because historically we don't trust doctors. We don't, and some of it because we don't take care of ourselves as well. A lot of black men got high blood pressure. Some got stress-related disease. Pre-diabetes due to stress. Therapy, especially with a black male or culturally aware therapist. Yeah, what you're getting to me is rare. I'm one of the first pioneers in this space as a black therapist, black male therapist at that's not one on that, on that neoliberal stuff. That's been speaking truth to power ever since you've known me. I'm as honest. I don't know other way but to be honest. Now, if I start lying and compromising and tap dancing and I could probably be rich if I want. I could be rich if I wanted to, but I can't do that. I got to live with my conscience. I got to stand before God at some point. And I just can't lie to folks for the sake of money. Some people can do it. I have a hard time doing it. That's why I ask that you guys support what I do. If you don't have money, then you share the content. Sleep deprivation is deadly for black men. I was guilty of that. Even more so for other groups, more so than for other groups. When you get your sleep actually helps restore your body, but your sleep also helps with your circadian rhythm, and your sleep also helps with your testosterone. Some of your testosterone guys, testosterone levels are low because you're under a lot of stress. You're not eating healthy, you're not getting your sleep because you're working too hard trying to please a selfish woman and selfish kids that don't care nothing about you. You're working yourself to an early grave trying to please your wife and your children, or taking care of somebody else's children. And I'm not taking care of another man's kids. I'm not going to. I'm not taking care of your kids. And I'm not paying your bills either. And you can talk about, well, a real man, I don't care what you say about no real man. I'm not taking care of nobody else's kids. I'm not going to. If that's what another man wants to do, more power to him. But I'm not doing it. I'm not paying 100% bills if you don't meet my standards. Some men got different standards. My standards are high. I'm not going to pay 100% of bills. My granddad didn't pay. My dad paid 100% of the bills because my dad got a virgin. My mama didn't have nobody else's kids. My mom was mostly wife-ready, even though my mom was spoiled. But my dad took good care of my mom. My mom was so spoiled, other women were jealous of my mom. That's how spoiled my mama was. And sometimes I thought my dad worked too hard, to the point that my dad many times had ulcers due to stress, somatic issues due to stress. He was suffering on the inside, but I'm not going to let him suffer on the inside. I'm not dying early because of disrespectful women or disrespectful children. The Bible says I shall live and not die. I ain't going to die before my time. I'm going to proclaim that I'm going to live a long life. I'm going to live as long as God let me live, unless the rapture take place. But I'm not going to let nobody, no woman, no wife, no kids, or nobody, or no talking about damn taking one for the black community. I'm not doing none of that goofy mess. Because some of you Negroes are not from my tribe. I don't associate with some of you goofy Negroes. You're not from my tribe. My tribe is from black men and black women that not only are conscious, but they are respectful black men and black women. I don't deal with dusty black folks. I deal with hard-working, blue-collar, white-collar black men and black women that are cerebral, and they don't mind saying I'm sorry, and they understand their assignment, and they are realistic in their expectations. I deal with those kind of people. Those are the kind of people from my tribe. Because the master said, who is my brother? Jesus wasn't concerned about skin color or your ethnic origin, but Jesus said, he that does the will of the Father is my brother. Jesus was more concerned about your consciousness than your skin hue. And so men need a way to talk about the stress that they're dealing with. And stress is destroying black fathers. That's why Kevin Samuels was so popular. Because Kevin Samuels was saying things that even though other men were talking about it, and even though a lot of men were talking about what Kevin Samuels was talking about, he just popularized it. And now every time men try to talk, men can't have their own spaces. You look at football games now, football shows. You see women that they leading the men's show. Men can't have nothing now. We can't have our own spaces to talk. We can't have our own TV shows. You don't see men trying to go on women's shows, trying to run their shows. But men can't have their spaces to be men anymore. We can't have our spaces to do anything without a woman with her hands in it, trying to damn change stuff because she want to be down. She want to be like men. She's not comfortable in who she is. She got to always have her hand into men's space. Shout out to my man, Ray Johnson. Ray Johnson always showing love. That's my homeboy from the West Coast. Shout out to Ray Johnson for that $20 super chat. Shout out to Ray Johnson for that $20 super chat. Hold tight, guys. We're going to get into it. Shout out to Ray Johnson for that $20 super chat. I'm going to send some special love to everybody. But shout out to Ray Johnson for that $20 super chat. Thank you, sir.
It's the money.
Shout out to Ray Johnson. He's the #1 sponsor for the $20 super chat, followed by Bashur, followed by the International Quiet Storm. And also shout out to a new brother. Shout out to Bucket886. Appreciate the message. God bless, salute, no doubt. Shout out to my man Bucket886, showing love. I really appreciate it, brother Bucket. Thank you, sir, for showing love. And also shout out to AP, the analytic pragmatist. Shout out to that brother as well. Thank you, sir, for showing love. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for your comments.
Men would go and work in coal mines and steel mills, endangering their life just to bring their whole checks to their wives because they loved them. Men used to stand out in front of a woman's house and profess their love.
And not only because we loved them, but women back then were better. Women back then were not tainted. You'll never convince me that a woman that's a non-virgin is the same as a woman. Okay. A woman being a virgin by itself does not necessarily make her a quality woman, but it does show that she has a lot of discipline. There are some good women that made mistakes, yes. We understand that. We know there's some women that made mistakes. We get that. We understand that. But the world don't care about you making no mistakes, just like the world don't care about a man making no mistakes. Some of these women won't sleep with men because they were looking for love. Some of them were looking for love, but some of them gave a man that body because he was cute. They just gave him his body because her body, because he was cute. He had pretty hair and pretty eyes, and she gave him her cat for free. Didn't make him earn it or nothing. So you think the world care about men that went out and did a bid and they deleted somebody or they sold drugs? You think if that man tell that woman that I was a felon for 20 years and I had to do a 20-year bid because I was trying to make my girlfriend happy and I was looking, I had low self-esteem and I wanted that woman to love me. That's why I sold drugs. The world, that woman is not gonna marry that man. That woman gonna say, sorry, but I can't marry a felon. The world gonna say, I'm sorry, but you're a felon. I'm sorry, but for somehow women are supposed to get honor and grace, and we're supposed to give them a chance to be sympathetic. No, it don't work like that, sweetie. Even if you did give your body away because you were looking for love, you still gonna reap what you sow, because all of it won't always looking for love. Some of it because sometimes it's because he was cute, and I'm gonna prove my point at some point. Or you were horny, you wanted some meat, and so you gave it to him for free because he was cute and you were horny. But now you want a man to pay full price for used cat. That's what men valid. That's what black men highly respect the black women. Because black women at one point, but there wasn't no woman on the planet better than the American black woman. You will never convince me that no woman was better than the black woman back in the past. But these women now want the same merits as women 20, 50 to 60 years ago. Imagine if a man could have got a woman like my grandmama. My grandmama was pure. She was chaste. My grandma was a hard-working black woman in the South. I remember black women back then would cook, they would clean, and they still would take care of their kids. They were superior compared to women now. Women now got all the accomplishments, and these men are weak too. We're gonna talk about these weak men too. I got a show coming up with you talking about weak men too. Oh yeah, we got a show coming up talking about weak men. Who created man? And a generation of weak men. But that was a time when women were honorable women. They're not honorable anymore. But they got all these high standards. Oh, you gonna pay all those bills? No, we're not paying all no bills, sweetie. We're not paying all no bills. You can go sit down somewhere. We're not paying all your bills. We're not going to. I'm not going to. And I'm gonna tell if a dummy want to do it, fine. But I'm not paying all no bills. I don't have to. If you don't meet my standards, we're prorated. What them bodies look like. How many kids you got? How many kids by other men that you got? It's time for black men that have done the work to start raising the bar, man. And guess what? Black men are beginning to raise the bar. And the world don't like it. Folks get mad at these red pill spaces, but black male channels have begun to change the conversation. You can't shame us no more. We know game when we see it. We know the lies. We know the manipulation. We know that some of you gonna get mad and you gonna leave because you get mad because you don't want to hear the truth. Or you thought you were going to come into men's spaces and change the conversation, and then you realize it don't work. That witchcraft don't work on black men no more. It work on simps, because it's still a lot of simps in America. But it don't work on me. I study people. I don't say nothing. I just study folks. Because you're going to tell them yourself at some point anyway. You're going to always tell them yourself. You know, the one thing the devil can't do is lie and tell the truth. He can't do it. He can't tell the truth and he can't lie. And eventually his true colors will show out at some point. Some women get mad because men got standards. And they don't like the fact that men got standards, something our grandfathers had. Got more than any other generation of women ever had, and they still complaining.
By serenading her with flowers and R&B music at the top of their lungs because they loved them and they wanted everybody to know, that's my woman and I love her. And now we are online arguing about who gonna go 50-50 and whether or not we should go Dutch on the first date. Now the ladies are complaining that the men won't spend no money. They won't do nothing for me. I want to point out that it might be because everything that man could possibly work for that's of value, you give it all away online.
Right.
Your booty is the main attraction of all of your photos on your Instagram.
That's true.
Twerking seems to be your only skill set on the TikTok. And you are...
And you know what's so hard, guys, when you hear these women on Kendra G channel. These women say, oh, I'm looking for a man to make 6 figures to pay off all the bills. And you think they celibate. You know, when a woman says I'm not in a relationship, it don't mean that she's not celibate, guys. Just because she's not in a relationship, she's still every now and then giving that cat to somebody. You know, you think, oh, sure, oh, I'm not in a relationship. So, but you're still giving your body away, man. So why am I going to pay full price for a woman that's giving her virtue away? Why am I going to pay full price for a woman that's giving her body away for free? Can you imagine a woman giving her body to multiple men, something that's supposed to be sacred and reserved for your husband and him alone, and then you come up to him and talking about he got to make 6 figures and pay all the bills? And you got to watch out for some of these women, because these women are always trying to manipulate the narrative and use, like I said, a real man and all this foolishness, because it's nothing but manipulation. And I see it all the time. I had a woman tell me in therapy, she said that she was doing some evil work to her husband. And she said, well, I don't know if I want my husband to work with you because you too strong. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Proud to post your smoking and your drinking and your sexual exploits on the Facebooks and the Snapchats, right? What do they have left to pay for? What do they have left to work for? And regardless if y'all want to admit the truth or not, men are territorial. Men like to possess things.
Right. She's right. Can you imagine, guys? That's why I say I'm not paying all no bills. I'm not paying all no bills. If you're not bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, if I don't have positive ownership over you, shout out to Anita Stoudemire and whoever the woman was that said it, I'm not paying all no bills. I'm not going to give you the best. I'm not paying full price when the next man they have to pay full price. I'm not going to. So if you're a single man coming in now, it's an understanding that most of them are going to lie about their past. Most of them are going to lie unless you make her take a lie detector test and make her take 3 lie detector tests and make her pay for it. The more masculine you are, the more territorial you are as a man. And you don't want to have the thought of no other man, I'm digging inside your woman. But they're trying to shame you as a man and tell you it's okay it's in the past. I mean, one of the dumbest things I ever heard is in the past. Not understanding that your past plays a role to how relationships are formed. That's a sign of a woman that knows she's riding dirty when she say it's in the past. Imagine if I took somebody's life about 5 years ago, and then when the cops come to arrest me, I say it's in the past. You see how stupid that is? Imagine the doctor asked me, I tried to go to college and I had a 1.8 GPA, and I want to get into a prestigious school. And they said, "Oh, sorry, Kosher, we can't let you into this university because that's in the past." And I tell them, I said, "Well, that's in the past." You see how irrational that is? Because they don't want to deal with the consequences. Instead of having sexual discipline and preserving yourself or striving to preserve yourself for your husband, you give it away to a bunch of men, then expect a man to pay full price. And then talking about, because it's hoflation, a term that I created, because of hoflation, all of a sudden, a man's supposed to give his best and pay all bills to make you special and see you as special. No, sweetie, you're not special. You're not special. Ain't nothing special about that cat. That cat has been used. There ain't nothing special about it, you know. So we can have a relationship, but I'm not gonna pay 100% of the bills, because you're not a virgin, you're not wife ready, and you got kids by other men. So I'm not paying 100%. No, I'm not, because I know what my worth is. Because that same woman, if you told her, "I'm gonna give you this used dress the other women wore for a wedding," that woman don't want that dress. If you propose to a woman with the same ring that you gave another woman, the woman doesn't want it because it's been used. It's not special about it. So what's special if you're giving your body to multiple men? And after you're giving your body and your virtue to multiple men, then you want to say the Lord forgave me and it's in the past, especially if you lied about it. And then, you're going to pay all, but no, we're not paying all no bills, sweetie. You should be grateful if a man paid 50-50. Not because he can't pay 100%, but you don't deserve 100% of no bills paid.
That's just how they're made. They are made to go out, hunt, gather, and conquer. Y'all like it when they making all the money, right? But they want to be able to say, that's my woman, that's my family, that's my home. The more we tell these men that we don't want you, we don't need you, and I can do what I want to do, my body, my choice, the less they feel like they need to be responsible for you. That might be why we're not getting what we want. Well, not us, but them.
So what you're saying is that I shouldn't greet my man with a hug and a kiss when he comes through the door. I shouldn't ask him if he wants me to turn the shower on so the water can be warm when he gets...
Let me tell you something, guys. I'll talk with men all the time that dated foreign women, and getting all that's nice, but that's just normal in other cultures, man. Let me show you guys something. See, American women don't want to compete. They don't want to compete for their men, especially the black men. They don't want to compete. And it's not just black men having these issues. White men are having these issues too. I'm going to show you guys something in a minute. I'm going to show you guys something in a minute. Y'all hold tight. Hold tight. You get a superior woman for you single men. You get a superior woman, and also you get a feminine woman. Now listen, they might say, well, they got kids too. Well, let's say she do have kids, a kid or two. They're still superior, in my opinion, to a lot of foreign American women because they're not as entitled. And they're more realistic in their expectations. And they want to treat you better. And they're more prettier. And they eat more natural food.
I'm up there anyway. And I guess I shouldn't step in, and help him wash his bag and stuff. And if he has a headache, I shouldn't lay his head on my lap. Give him a kiss and massage his temples. And I shouldn't let him know that my lap is his sanctuary. And when he feels like he's too tired to pray, I guess I shouldn't assure him that I'm gonna go to God on his behalf. Oh, I should always keep my money in my pocket. Never surprise him.
No, sweetie. That's why I disagree with her. See, she tried to call in the mark. She should always keep her money. No, sweetie, you ain't gonna always keep your money in your pocket. If you keep your money in your pocket, I'm gonna figure out whatever. I'm not paying. If you're gonna keep your money in your pocket, that money is going towards the family. You can keep a percentage of it, but you're not gonna keep 100% of that money in your pocket if I'm working hard. That ain't gonna happen, sweetie. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's what she messed up at. She said, if I keep my money in my pocket, no, sweetie, we ain't doing that. If I'm working hard and paying a large portion of those bills, you're not gonna keep all your money in your pocket because you might get bored and say you tired of being married. Now you got about 100,000 saved up, plus you can get alimony and child support. No, we're not doing that, sweetie. We're gonna invest that money. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell you how to allocate that money. We're gonna talk, and you can keep a small percentage of it, but it's gonna be investments and it's gonna be for the family. You're gonna earn this relationship, sweetie.
Pay the bill or pick him up something that I know he loves when he least expects it. Oh.
But I will give her credit. At least she's trying. I got to give her credit. At least she understands it, whether it's manufactured femininity or not.
Oh, no, that's doing too much, right? And even though that man has never missed a time taking out their trash, cleaning the garage, getting repairs done in the house, paying the mortgage, most of the bills, I shouldn't take some of that money that I done saved and treat my man to a spa day? And what if I hired a masseuse?
Look at what she said. She said most of the money that she saved. Where's that money? y'all see that? He paying all the bills or majority of the bills, and she keeping her money, saving it. No, that ain't gonna happen, sweetie. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I'm good. If you think you're gonna save your money and why I pay everything, and look, let's go ahead on. I'm all right. I will hire somebody to cook me some meals, man. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Inflation is too high. We got to go 50-50. Now, listen to what I'm saying, AP, the analytic pragmatist. If you get a woman that meets your standards and your expectations, let's say she's wife ready, a virgin of low bodies, and no kids, and if you can afford it as a man and you got the money and you can pay at least 80%, nothing wrong with that if you can do it. But if she's paying 20 and she's working 2, then she need to figure out how to, we're gonna manage that money together. You're just not gonna keep all your money. While I'm not doing it. No man should be trying to work himself to a grave to make her happy. We're not doing that. If you can afford to do it, maybe. As I said earlier, in my opinion, the only women that deserve 100% of all bills paid for, in my opinion, is virgins, wife ready, and women with no kids, and younger women that are fit and feminine. Yeah, we'll try to pay all bills there. We're gonna try. We might can't afford it because you're right, inflation is too high. And if a woman really loves her husband, she's gonna understand she's not gonna expect her husband to work himself like a dog trying to pay all those bills. Because she's gonna say, I'm gonna make sure I help my husband. And at some point, if he can pay all the bills and we use the investments to invest in our future and our kids and our family and our legacy, then so be it. But that money is not going to go in your pocket and while he's working like a dog. I'm not doing that. Not because I can't do it. I'm just not going to do it because I don't think the average woman deserves it.
To come have the spa day at our house. Oh, no, don't do that. And I guess you'd be pissed if I got his truck detailed. You would lose your mind. Because to you, that's doing too much. And maybe because you have never had the opportunity to have a man who treats you the way my man treats me. You see, he's good to me. I know you didn't think I was over here doing all that for a man who wasn't good to me. He's been an example of what a man should be to all 4 of our daughters. Together, we've shown our daughters, through our good times and not so good times, how love can conquer all. You see, my daughters have seen me leave men that were bad for me, and they've seen me leave a man that I wasn't good for.
She said men that was bad that was bad to her. My daughters have seen me, so she basically got a sip. Yeah. Nah, yeah, you doing too much, sis. Ain't nobody paying all. If she got kids, seem like sounds she got kids by another man or other men now, boo. We're not paying all those bills, man. We're not. But, yeah, I wouldn't even look at this chick, man. I mean, she's cute, but I wouldn't take her serious, not for no wife. I wouldn't. Every man is different. I'm not no man for having his standards. But yeah, I wouldn't take her serious. I definitely would. I wouldn't.
They've seen me grow and change and learn what it is to love a good man and to be loved by a good man. And you say I'm doing too much? Baby, I pray that you get to do too much. Because when God blesses you and he gives you the sense to know when you've been blessed, it's like slapping God in the face when you don't handle your business and do what it takes to show God you appreciate that blessing. And I ain't slapping God. Plus, I love my man. And he's always showing me how much he loves me. Baby, listen. You can keep being negative, putting other people down for how they live their life. Or you can ask God to put women in your path that will teach you what it is to appreciate a blessing so that when he comes, you'll know it and you'll know how to treat him. We'll teach you how to get that ring, how to keep that ring that comes from a man who's doing all he can to keep you. Because it goes both ways. So I'm not going to keep on handling my business. Come on, say it with me. Hell yeah. I love you.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, she all right. But when she lost me when she said, my girl saw me. And of course she could have been married. But 9 times out of 10 she wasn't. So we're not paying all no bills, we're not. But God bless the simp to have his own. If a man want to do it, hey, I ain't gonna knock him. I'm not doing it. But I'm not paying all no bills. But it is what it is.
Hi, I'm Bonnet Barbie. I always make sure my kids eat a healthy meal. I need you to get off that Madden and get a job!
Barbie, shut the hell up. I'm ranked top 10 in the world.
Bonnet Barbie loves government assistance. Bonnet Barbie!
Introducing the Bonnet Barbie collection. Bonnet Barbie, in her pink bonnet, fuzzy slippers, and cheetah leggings. Black Ken with his controller. And all of Bonnet Barbie's kids. Each sold separately.
Yeah. This is what you got. This is what you got. This is what you guys got to deal with there, man. This is what y'all brothers got to deal with. Bless y'all. This is what you brothers got to deal with there, man. This is what you guys got to deal with now.
Simp man, I'm coming for you.
Wow, who was that guy? From cheap, bad imposters copying our stuff to new villains rising from the shadows. It's time for episode 6 of Simp Man, the hero who does things other men won't do. From saving single moms, to paying bills that aren't his, to stepping in when no one else will.
How do you men tired of being simp, man? How do you men? How many of you men tired of being simp, man? How many of you brothers tired of being simp, man? How many of you good brothers are tired of being simp, man? I know that's a derogatory term that some men use, but men need to stop simping so much, man. Nothing wrong with treating a woman good. You treat a woman good, but some of you men simping too much, man. Y'all super simp, yeah. Some of y'all know y'all got y'all simp man cape on.
The cape is on, the CGI is still terrible, and the simping continues.
I'm Simp Man.
No, you're not, and stop stealing my stuff!
The baby's coming, and the father isn't here. Don't worry, I'll be the father.
When the real dad can't bother to show up for the delivery of his child, Simp Man will be there to step.
And listen, that's what simps do. Simps devalue themselves, have very low standards, and live their lives to please women. Where men in other cultures would never do that. Men in other cultures have very high standards. And this is satire, guys. This is satire. But there's a lot of truth to what is this saying.
Up to the plate.
I'm paying for everyone. Just put the bill on my Capital SIM card. No woman should pump.
You better not let Simp Man see you making your lady pump her own gas. To giving out colorful bonnets like it's a turkey drive on Thanksgiving. Simp Man is always there to cover up your lace front. And when Simp Man has nothing to do, he beats up the League of Deadbeats ran by Ross. I shall not pay.
Give us the loot!
From tossing boyfriends out of gas stations to checking punks who won't pay the bill, Simp Man never stops. But what about that hooded figure with the red shard? Will he bring an end to the simping? Find out next time. Same simp time, same simp channel, only on Hobusters.
Simp Man.
Looks like an end of child support notice, ma'am.
Don't let Simp Man catch you going 50-50. Oh my goodness, man, it's funny. Oh man, this is funny, man. Listen, man, yeah, this is funny, man. This is so funny, man. Yeah. And you know what the crazy thing? I'm gonna do a show called about who qualifies for 50-50.
Looks like an end of child support notice.
My light bill is late. My kids are starving and my car is about to be repossessed. I really need a friend.
You don't need a friend. You need Indeed.
With Indeed, you don't have to beg men for money. Find a real job, get real pay every 2 weeks. Stop depending on his pockets and start depending on your own.
Who you gonna call? Hobusters. Child support ended 6 months ago, and now I'm able to drive this Mercedes-Benz.
Payments ended a year ago. I'm saving an extra $5,000 a month, and now she's homeless.
My dad fought for custody, won, and the payments ended. Now I'm living with my dad like I always wanted.
Child support ended? Good. Now go celebrate, fellas. You deserve it.
They don't like to see men happy, guys. That's why I do what I do. I want to see men happy. I want to see men happy. I want to see men thriving. I want to see men getting the best that they can get for their hard work. That's what I want to see, guys. I want to see hardworking, blue-collar black men and white men getting the best bang for their buck. It's a cold world, man. It's a cold world. I gotta stop being so raw, guys. I know me being raw. I'm too raw, man. I'm too raw, man. I gotta stop being so raw. I know that these poor souls can't handle the truth. I gotta stop being so raw, guys. But anyway.
This message was brought to you by...
Do men not like taking women out on dates anymore? Where are the real men?
Why do men think a Netflix night is a date? Take me somewhere nice.
Men need to understand, if she can pay all of her bills without you, she's not listening to you. Do men not like taking women out on dates anymore? Where are the real men?
Why do men think a Netflix night is a date?
It's time for episode 5 of Simp Man, the hero doing things other men won't. From paying rent to cooking dinner while she's gone, no simp duty is too small. And if you're seeing this on that Chinese app that steals your info, just know the person who posted it got it from here. Hobusters made it first.
Simp Man, how can I be a better man?
All right, so I'm going to show you guys something. And let me tell you something, guys. You know, listen, I'm passionate about men getting the best outcomes that they can. The reason why I do what I do, the reason why I go hard, because I don't like seeing good men be manipulated and settle. I stand on that. I think that good women deserve the best. If you're a good woman, you deserve the best that you can get. But I don't believe in entitlement or entitlements and men being shamed into bad scenarios. I just don't believe in that fundamentally. That's why I go so hard. But let me show you something real quick, because I understand we live in a very democratic society, and it is what it is. Men, y'all got to be the change that y'all want to be. But even in foreign countries and some of these women that got kids, guys, I'm gonna show you, men, what you guys can get to you single men. I'm gonna show you what you brothers can get. This is what you can get in a foreign country. They might be poor. Some of them are poor, not all of them. But if you're a single man, white or black, you can get a pretty fit woman. I might not, of course, it can be contradictory because these women are going to expect you to pay the bills, all the bills too, and you don't have to settle for her either. You can still, if you want to, it depends on your style. You can get your professional woman that's foreign, but if you choose to be with her, and if you choose to pay a large percentage of the bills, all the bills, like I said, that's your standard. But at least you get a younger feminine woman if you're a single man.
Women overseas is they're taught from a very young age on how to be a good wife, mother from a very young age, because their mothers taught them, their fathers taught them. So it's not only the men that are being taught on how to treat the women, it's also the other way around too. It's also the women being taught how to treat a man. So because of that, it creates healthier dynamics in relationships down the road for them. And in fact, what they're doing essentially is they're trying to help their daughter become successful in their marriage later down the road. Because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters, is your marriage and your relationship, not how much money you're making at your job or if you're a CEO or not. And these people understand that in other countries.
This is a huge reason why men left foreign women. Foreign women, unlike Western women, are actually taught from a young age on how to treat men properly. Western culture, women are raised with entitlement, and they're only taught on what to expect from men, not on how they should treat men. Men are only taught on how to treat women, but not on what they should expect in return from women. This is a huge reason why men left foreign women.
She's right.
Foreign women, unlike Western women, are actually taught from a young age on how to treat men properly.
Brazil. It's an authentic Brazilian. In every way.
And this goes for white men too. For you single men, white or black, and you can go to the countryside, you're looking for a godly woman. You get a real feminine fit woman that's going to work with you. If you're educated like myself, you can get an educated black woman. You can get women from foreign countries that are superior to the average woman here. Like Ebony K. Williams, she would be a nobody in a foreign country. Ebony K. Williams might think she's an 8 here, she's invisible, probably a 3 in another country. That's why I keep telling men, stop lowering your standards and start getting the best.
She's shy about speaking English, but she understands everything. Just say hello.
And this is a white guy. He's 37, and his girlfriend is 21. And they're trying to shame you, not understanding that men by nature want younger women. But you have older women that still think they got the same rights as a younger woman. They still want, they said they just want you for your money. Well, old women want you for your money too. So are you gonna pay full price or a high price for an older woman, or are you gonna pay a higher price for a younger, fit, feminine woman that got high fertility? I mean, it's a no-brainer, man.
Hello. Welcome to Brazil.
Welcome to Brazil.
Isso, muito bem. Como você vai ficar tímida? Brazil. It's an authentic Brazilian.
And even Brad is frustrated, even though man is frustrated. even Brad said he got to go to Brazil and he got to go team foreign to get him something pretty and young. Even Brad is going to get him something pretty and young. Because when you're in a foreign country, if you make 6 figures, your money go far. You are treated like a king in foreign countries, man. And they're better looking women, they're more fit, and they don't have all these crazy demands.
Every Oh, she's shy about speaking English, but she understands everything. Just say, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Brazil.
Okay, let's settle this once and for all. This is to my African men, okay? Why is it that when an African...
Ladies, before we even start coming for the messenger, because I seen someone try to come for my boo cap and I already seen that coming. If you're not from New York, you wouldn't really understand that people just wear that normally, especially when they got dreads. But anyways, hey man, say man. Bro, all I'm just saying is speaking from the perspective of a man that's been places, bro. And I ain't saying no lie, gang. I went this year? I went to Asia twice. I went to London, Amsterdam, and Barcelona. And in Asia, they're mad nice, gang. Like, women and men. Like, nicest people I've met on earth, bro. They wouldn't even rob you, bro. They treat you nice. I was in London recently. I just got a haircut, right? I was getting a haircut from this London barber I met out there, right? Bro's on his seat, small talk. He telling me, he like, yo, bro, you're from New York, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, bro, why the things over there so, I'm like, aggressive? He's like, yeah, bro. He's like, yo, I was talking to some things from Brooklyn and she was just so, I'm like, bro, I be trying to tell her something all the time. They got something in the air because they just too, compared to all the other women in the world, they just so, I don't know, gang. So that just goes to show you, bro, I'm not just talking to talk. I should have recorded him saying that because if I'm lying, I'm dying. True story, bro. Y'all just need to ease up a little bit. I could learn a thing or two, and I just want to educate my young men on here to go explore, live a little bit, because trust me, you might find yours out there. That's all. At the end of the day, I'm just a guy, right? Ladies, before we even start coming for the messenger, because I seen someone try to come for my boo.
To the point where when you go to a different country, you will find out it was more affordable and you get more for your money because the women over there are submissive and they care and they treat you like you're somebody. And I'm like, okay, look, you went to a country who look at you as a lick. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be submissive. They're going to care more because they don't have the things that the women over here have. So therefore, they can't be picky and say, oh, we're not going to put up with your shit. The moment you give a woman the ability to create her own lifestyle, that's when she stopped having less patience.
And that's true in part, but that's not 100% true because those women still are raised different. Now, could they change once they come to the West? They could. Does poverty makes them a little bit more agreeable? Yes. But also a lot of those women also they tend to be more traditional. They tend to be a lot more traditional.
A woman who is broke and never been to college, but is fine as hell, can cook, has good nurturing skills, good in bed, will always get the better man than the woman who makes hella bread, is hella accomplished.
When me turn on the media from man in front yesterday from last time.
Listen, come closer. You see, one of the worst things to do,
I can't lie, man, them. New York is the step, bro, because how can...
All right, so we're gonna stop it here, guys. All right, so guys, I had dropped the link, but this was dear to my heart. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this conversation. I had dropped the link. If any of you men have been experiencing, I'm gonna start doing call-in shows, guys, where I just choose a topic and we just have a live call-in, man. I think I'm gonna start doing more of that. Start having some clinical shows coming up at some point in my, but if some of you men have been dealing with burnout because you feel like your wives or your kids don't care, the link has been dropped. Feel free to tap in if you want to. If not, I'm going to end the stream. Feel free to tap in if you've been dealing with some levels of relationship stress. Feel free to tap in, guys. The link has been dropped if you want to. If not, it's fine. We're going to end it in a minute. But this show was dear to me. I thought this show was very important because I do believe the men should have some level of respect. And like I said, these are my own personal opinions. Every man got to live his life for his own, based on what he thinks is right for him. But I do think the men, especially black men, need to start raising the bar higher and start demanding more. And I understand these conversations I've been saying, a lot of folks not used to it. But I was just raised different. I was raised in a time where men had higher standards. Men now, their standards are just too low. and they don't demand more or demand better. And so that's why I'm so passionate about some of the things that I say and I do. I'm just honest. Sometimes I'm too honest. I know being honest don't get you a lot of love in YouTube, but it is what it is. But I dropped the link if anybody want to talk about some of the stress they've been having with burnout, with relationships or kids. Feel free to tap in. If not, I'm going to end the stream. If you guys haven't had a non-diagnostic consultation, come tap in and get your non-diagnostic consultation, and we can get you on the right track. Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways to the point it's led over into your social life, and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well. All right, guys, we're going to end it if nobody's going to tap in until we want to have a conversation. If that's the case, that's okay. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody that showed some love on the day. You guys came up big. I really appreciate it. Special shout out to everybody that donated on today. Thank you guys for showing love. Hold tight. All right. Special shout out to Ray Johnson for being one of the #1 sponsors on of the stream. Shout out to Brother Ray for the 20. Shout out to Sister Bashua for the 20. Shout out to 2 other brothers that gave, and also shout out to International Quiet Storm for all the stupid chats. I really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to end it at some point. We're going to end it here. We're going to look at some football, but thank you guys for tuning in. I got a good show coming up soon. You guys be on standby. Be on standby, guys. I got a good show coming up, and the name of the show is The 7 Signs That She Is a Kosher Queen. We're gonna start talking. We're gonna start celebrating good women on this channel. We know that there's some women that are decent women that made some bad choices, and so I'm not here to necessarily denigrate them per se. But I'm just here for conscientious men that are single to start raising the standards for what they want in relationships, and don't waver in their convictions. Don't waver in your convictions as a man, and feel free to say this is what I want, and I'm just not going to compromise. Because we understand wherever you go, if you're a weak man, if you're a broken man in America, you can be a broken man over abroad. And also foreign women, some of them got game too. I'm not saying foreign women are perfect, but I will say that they're raised or better conditioned to treat men with respect and dignity. Sadly, some of the women in the West used to do, but they don't do anymore. So guys, we're going to end it. And I got some shows coming up, guys. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon.
man would be a tall black stallion. He loves to cook because I'm not really a good cook, so that's his thing. He loves driving. He loves driving the kids to school in the morning. He's just really, really hands-on, with my kids. He's sterile because he can't have kids of his own, so he really cherishes mine. He's funny. We do movie quotes all the time. Every time we go around, we just laugh and do karaoke. He's smart. He is very good with the money. He takes care of all that, and he just
faith is before you. Choose wisely.